Hey, kid. Hey, kid, come here, man. I got something for you.
Every year, there are 125,000 attempted child abductions in America. Close to 5,000 of these attempts are successful.
Get in the car. Shut up.
It is a staggering number. It's not like it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen, but it's not necessarily going to happen to you. The chances are very slim. But if it did, it's the type of crime that would destroy you forever. It's not the kind of thing you recover from, and that's why you have to take it so seriously.
One of the keys, stopping an abduction before it starts.
Okay, Bob, say he's walking down the road and a car approaches. What is he supposed to do?
Good question. If Cody was walking down the street and a car pulled up next to him and he was frightened, he thought this was a dangerous situation, what you should do, Cody, is turn and run the opposite direction that the car is pointed. Don't keep running the same way you're walking. That's the same direction the car's going. He can continue to follow you. You can't outrun a car. But if you turn around and run this way, all of a sudden you take charge. Now he has to decide, will I turn this car around and continue to follow you? And there's only a 50% chance that he'll choose to do it. And even if he does, you have a tremendous head start.
Okay, now, Bob, if a kid's walking through a park like this and a stranger just suddenly approaches,
Let's go, kid.
what can he do to just get away?
You know, the smart thing to remember here is that you can't teach children, shouldn't teach them to try to overpower another person, an adult, you know, the predator, anybody, because they're not going to do it. What Chandler can do is if somebody bigger and stronger than him has a hold of him, like his arm, like this, you can do something we call the windmill maneuver. And the way you do it is you rotate your arm in a big circle. Try that one time, big circle. All right, now if I was to hold him real tight, do it. Okay, beautiful.
Even
now
somebody much bigger.
Absolutely. I was holding him as tight as I could,
Yeah.
and I couldn't hold on to him. Yeah, it gives him all the power in the street.
And then he can take off.
Exactly. That gives him the power now to get out of there.
Well, Bob, riding bikes is something that kids do all the time, but you say it actually makes them a pretty big target of predators.
Yeah, actually, it's not uncommon for a child to be abducted while they're outside riding their bike. And here's the thing, if they can get off and run away, that's great. That's what we want them to do, but so often they cannot because the guy comes up and he surprises them. So the best thing for a kid to do is to hold this bike. Hold this bike and don't let go. If she holds this bike and does not let go, I can't get her off. Predators have to work very fast. Well, I cannot fit her and the bike in the car. I get one or the other, but not the combination of them together. Hold the bike, don't let go under any circumstances, she'll win.
Bob, say we're in a park like this and a youngster is approached by a stranger, and yet there are other adults around that might be able to help.
What kids have to do is they have to be aggressive in this situation. They have to be aggressive when they get help and not timid at all. We have something we call the Velcro technique, which is where a child would grab somebody and hold on to him, just like Riley's doing. Yeah, just like that. And see, no matter what you did, you could walk away, it doesn't matter. She's got you. She's got you involved in her situation. Now
So I'm going to help her.
You're going to help her. You're going to rescue her, and she knows that she can do that.
Yeah, and I'd rescue her anyway.
Absolutely.
Car creeps down a quiet street. A child is grabbed and stuffed inside.
Get in there. Get in there.
A horrifying image to anyone, especially a parent. Inside the darkness of a trunk, kicking and screaming probably won't help. Doing something else will.
Child is trapped in the trunk here. What could they possibly do to help themselves?
That's a good question because it's not an uncommon place to be in an abduction situation. Now, if that trunk's shut and this car's going down the road, you can kick and scream. Nobody's going to hear you. Nobody's going to see you. But if you disconnect the brake or tail light wires, and anybody can do it, it's usually hidden behind these panels right here. Cody, can you pull this panel down? And he'll reach in there and find the brake and tail light wires. Give him a hard yank. Pop them, go, just like that. Sure. Now what he's done is he's disconnected the brake and tail lights, which means there's a 50% chance now the police will pull the car over because it has no brake or tail lights. Then they'll find him in the trunk.
Okay, they're actually inside the car. What do the kids do at this point?
That's where it really gets serious and gets important because that kid's got to act and they have to act now. The main thing is they want to keep that car from driving away. If they can keep that car from driving away, they're going to end that crime. If the kid can jump in the driver's lap, if they can't get out of the car and run away, then they can jump in the lap, dislodging his hands from the steering wheel. They can honk the horn and make noise at the same time. Now, this is not going to let the guy drive. He can't drive if he can't hold the steering wheel.
Now, you might be worried, though, some of the kids causing an accident. Do you worry about that, or you just tell them just try to get out?
No, because they would be doing this before the car is moving. If the car is moving, we have some other techniques we're going to show them how to do. But when the car is sitting there, just as soon as it starts, if they can't get out, then they have to keep that car from moving.
Great maneuver to get away, but if they're already in the car, it's moving, what can they do? Anything?
Always. There's always something kids can do. Lots and lots of choices, but you have to teach them what they are. For instance, let's say the car's going, it pulls away, it stops at a stop sign. The child can jump in the back seat. Now, if it's a four-door car, they have two doors back there they can exit from, which is great. And if it's not a four-door car, at least from that position, they're more free to attract attention. There are always choices for them.
We've covered a lot of great ideas, Bob, for a kid that can help them in a situation like this. Anything more?
Yeah, actually, here's a very unique one. If a child's in the car and the situation arises, and this does happen, they could actually take like a button, just like this, off their clothes, put it in the ignition cylinder where the key goes. Now you can use a stick, a hairpin, even gum will do this. What happens is it disables the ignition, so the key will not go in. The guy can't start the car, he can't drive the car. If you can't move this car, that crime stops at that point. It could be something that you do like when the guy pulls up to get gas or something like that.
Or if you're in the car and he's doing something else he hasn't really taken off yet, if you're trapped, you could still do that before he puts the keys in.
Absolutely, you can do it. There are all these little windows of opportunity, and you just got to make sure that you show your kids these things and say, if it ever happens, you have my permission to do that.
And to know all the options.
All of them, yes.
Last night, we showed you how your children could free themselves from an abductor's car. If you missed it, log on to WHOTV.com to see this life-saving information.
Then watch tonight at 10 as child safety expert Bob Stuber gives you clear-cut ways a child can escape from inside someone's house. This is information you haven't seen before, information that could save a child's life.
The child may find themselves trapped inside a room like this. What can they possibly do?
Child abduction, the ways to escape, tonight on the Channel 13 News at 10.